Hi guys, hope you are good. I'm just about on time, as always. Fish says, "Have you got the fish shirt?" You'll have to remind me what this is because I saw this yesterday and I was like, "What's the fish shirt?" I kind of know what it is, but the fact that I can't remember is probably an indication of what the correct answer is. But you'll have to remind me, what's the fish shirt? I was thinking about this yesterday. The fish shirt. It rings a bell in my head, but I can't remember what it is. Mo Scout says, "Here we go. How are you? Good win for you yesterday versus Newcastle. Can't lie, which is pretty impressive." Jay, hi, it's me, Johnny. How are you doing, Jonathan? Hope you are good. Grace says, "Hi, how are you?" I'm gonna have to wear a different cap next time. I'm running out of fancy caps, but I hope you are good. Fish says, "How good was Heskey?" This is a good question. Heskey gets kind of ridiculed for being a joke of a player, but he was never that bad. He was fine. He was quite good. Had a good partnership with Owen. He wore the number 8 shirt, which was a bit weird for a striker, but it is what it is. I think he was signed from Leicester, Emil Heskey. I thought he was fine. He was good. He was pacey. He was powerful. He had a decent finish on him. I thought he was all right, Heskey. I can't remember where he went after Liverpool, but I thought he was okay. It's unfortunate kind of how much he gets ridiculed now, but I thought he was fine. Jonathan says, "Did you meet Paulo Dybala?" I did not meet Paulo Dybala. The best I saw was a Paulo Dybala shirt. And I was going to take a picture of it for you, but it was a kid wearing a Paulo Dybala shirt, so I thought I better not take a picture of a kid. So that was the closest I saw. Grace has missed me. I've missed you too. I've missed everybody. It's been about 2 weeks. The hat is fire. Indeed it is. But I hope you are doing well. Moscal says, "Could I get a mod on the channel?" I need to figure out the whole mod situation and kind of how I do it. But yeah, leave it with me. I need to kind of figure out how that's gonna work first. Charlotte says, "Hello. Fish got fish and chips for Christmas." I mean, that's a pretty good Christmas gift. I can't lie. Are you allowed to eat fish given that you are fish? You know what I mean? Is that like a weird dichotomy? Is that a weird situation since you're fish and you're eating fish? But I hope it's not weird. Jonathan says, "Sad life, I'm going to die. Welcome to the club." It's a realization we all unfortunately come to. Grace says, "I'm good. How was your holiday?" It was good. It was nice. I enjoyed it. I went to Italy, went to Rome. I spent most of it in Rome, and I spent some time in Naples, and it was kind of good. Ate lots of pizza, as you can expect. Ate lots of pasta, as you can expect, and ate tons of ice cream. I don't know if I put a lot of weight on. Have I put weight on? Have I lost weight? I don't know. But yeah, standard when you go to Italy, you eat. But I walked a lot as well, so I'm hoping that balanced it out. What I will say is the pizza in Italy was good, but New York pizza is better. I don't know if that's blasphemy. I don't know if that's against the law, but I felt like New York pizza was better than Italy. But the best food in Italy was definitely the ice cream. Oh my God. Specifically the gelato. I was there like twice a day, and there's so many shops and it's absolutely amazing. And I've come back to England and I've got ice cream in my freezer, and now the ice cream I have in my freezer tastes horrible. Samuel says, "Have you ever worn a hat?" Not really. I'm not really a hat person. I don't like hats and I don't like caps. Oh, by the way, they've kicked off. Wolves are wearing blue. Buzzing Chiesa is going to start, says Joseph. Me too. I'm in shock that he's starting, but I'm happy. I'm happy he gets a full start. What I find funny is that as soon as Chiesa gets a start, suddenly Gakpo's fit again. Gakpo saw that and he's like, I can't be having that. I can't be having that situation. So I'm happy to see him starting. And it's probably one of the best games for him to start because Wolves are terrible. You know Wolves have got 2 points. How is that possible to have 2 points? I feel like I've got more than 2 points. And I feel like Joseph's got more than 2 points. So Wolves are absolute dog turd. Mo's Christmas is the 7th of January. I mean, you've got a sad face, but in a way that's a good thing because you've still got Christmas to look forward to. So that's pretty nice. Let me should probably set the timer. I don't remember how to do half of this. There you go. Fantastic. Tom says, "Manj dog, you are back." Indeed, I am. Have you had a haircut? I have. Yeah, I tend to just shave. I tend to just shave it off completely. I let it grow and then I shave it off completely. I wasn't gonna do it because it's cold and I kind of need the hair for free warmth. But the thing is, in Italy, I went to the Vatican, which is the church where the Pope does his things, and they kept telling me to take my hat off because naturally it's disrespectful. You're not allowed to wear a hat there, so I had to keep taking my hat off. And then as I kept taking my hat off, I realized, okay, my hair's a bit of a mess. So then yeah, I was like, okay, my hair's a mess. I'm gonna cut it when I go back. Jonathan's describing exactly what I thought about a fish. Can you stream Carabao Cup games? If it's a Liverpool game, yeah. I'm just a bit short on time generally, but if it's a Liverpool game. Torino Cagliari 1-1. Nice. Mason says Wolves dominating us. That's not what we want to hear. But thankfully, it's just started. I'm on about 3 minutes, 20-ish seconds. There you go, 20 seconds. It's in 10 days though. This is your Christmas. I have to wait for a while after New Year. Do you get any time off? Do you get like any holidays as part of that? That's what I'd be a bit curious about. Most scouts says show the haircut. It's all pretty much gone. It's all pretty much gone. Jonathan and his friends got verbally abused on Christmas. I'm sorry to hear that. That's not ideal at any time, and especially not at Christmas. Is that how I said it? Verbally instead of verbally. Am I pronouncing my W's and my V's wrong? I was gonna say his Virgil van Dijk, but I figured I might pronounce that wrong as well. Fish says Gornik Zabje. Gornik Zabje. How is your team doing? How is Gornik doing? Were you not like second in the league the last time I saw? I will have to check them out. Grace says, did you get any nice presents? I wasn't here, to be honest. That's the thing. Sometimes I get presents kind of after I see people after Christmas, if that makes sense. Huang Hee Chan with the foul, which is pretty. All good. Fish misses Gornik. I'm sure Gornik miss you as well. I do get holidays, but I live in Slovenia. And Slovenians have Christmas on the 24th of December. So I do get days off for school. I kind of have to bribe to get days off because 24th December and 2nd January is different, I see. So what days do you get off? So what days specifically do you get off? I think you get the 7th off. Rick says Freshie, which doesn't make sense because Rick, your surname is Sandu. So bit ironic there, Richard. Still 2nd. You're a minute ahead. I'll see if I can find something that's more up to date. Fifth, 6th, and 7th, not bad, not too bad. Do you get New Year's Day off as well, which is Thursday? So 5th, 6th, and 7th. You get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So I found something that's a bit more up to date. Let me just carry on looking. Big ball for video. Okay, much more up to date now. I'll update the time. Eight minutes. Oh, for God's sake. There you go. 8 minutes 53. IZK says 1-0 Wolves. That would be a tragedy, I can't lie. But it's still 0-0. Of course, I get 31st, 1st, and 2nd for New Year. Nice little break. Have you got anything nice planned for your time off? Or are you just gonna rest? The thing is, sometimes you just need a rest, so that's 100% understandable. Grace says, now you're too far ahead. I see. I'll try not to spoil anything, but I won't make any promises. Google Jelly Bean. Yeah, you made me Google this the other day. What was this thing again? Yeah, you made me Google this thing the other day. What is this? Can you explain this to me? What is a PNG tuber? What is this? Like can you explain the context behind it? Is it like an anime character? Is it from a TV show? Ooh, Ekatike. Ekatike hits the post. 4,000 said good start. Not particularly. Blake says, are we playing good? Well, Ekatike just hit the post. I'd say, to be honest, good start. Are we playing good? Okay. I'd say it's okay so far. Same says, really like the left side rotation with Wirtz, Curtis Jones and Kirkes. I'm happy Chiesa finally starts a game. I'm happy Chiesa's been let out of the prison that he has found himself in for no fault of his own. To be honest, I haven't been paying too much attention to the game, but I'll pay attention now because there's a cross. I can see a cross coming in. I was Googling a PNG tuber for fish. Is it like 4-2-3-1 or is it 4-3-3 or is it 4-4-2? I can see Wirtz on the left. Nothing happens from the corner. Moscal says, I predict 2-1 Liverpool brace for Salah. I don't know if he's playing. He's at the African Cup of Nations. I think he scored today, or was it yesterday? And then just a random player from Wolves. So if Salah is not playing, Who do you think will score the 2 goals? Hopefully Ekitike. Fish says Fabinho, big egg. Grace is happy with Liverpool so far. They're doing okay. By the way, that Jellybean is a YouTuber, Minecraft YouTuber to be exact. I see. So does it animate? Like, does it... So is this like the graphic, and does it animate? You know what I mean? I presume it's not solely a picture. Is that how it works? Maybe I should get one of those. I might have to look into that. Fish says, stream Gornik Zabja. I will one of these days. Zaim says, Salah is at AFCON. Indeed he is. I believe Egypt won a game. Was it yesterday or today? I can't remember. The thing is, when you're on holiday, you kind of lose track of the days. I think he scored a penalty. And Egypt won. Grace says, please don't spoil. I'll try my best. Fish says, in case you have a bad day, listen to fish music. What is fish music? You'll have to explain a bit to me about what fish music is. What genre is fish music? Yeah, Salah's at AFCON, as Zaim mentioned. I mean, the timing's unfortunate, I can't lie. Isak gets injured. And I think the prognosis is a couple of months. And in that same week, Salah disappears. It's not good timing, but it is what it is. I guess the benefit of that is Chiesa gets to start. Some players gone down. He looks like he's in a lot of pain, so I should perhaps not be so dismissive. Did you know my dad is Alexander Kolarov? I did not know that, but I know that now. That name sounds familiar. Is he like a UFC fighter or a footballer? He's a footballer, I think. The current assistant coach of Serie A club Inter Milan. Does that mean your dad is in Milan? Currently working. My name is Nicola Kolarov, his son. I will call you Nicola from now on. David says Chiesa could be red carded. Is that why this player's on the floor? To be honest with you, I was looking at something else and I missed it. But this player's on the floor. Looking like he's just been knocked out. If Chiesa gets red carded, that would be the most funny and depressing thing at the same time. Zaim says, who was better, Risa or Kolarov? As in this Kolarov here? I'd probably say Risa. I have a bit of a soft spot for Risa. Number one, I'm biased. Number two, oh my God, that's Andre. I forgot about that. Is that Andre, the player that Liverpool were linked with? Playing for Wolves. But I'd go for Risa. I've got a bit of a soft spot for him. Partly because of shot power. His shot power was amazing. Didn't Risa take a free kick? And then as the free kick hit Alan Smith, it injured him. I think that was Risa. Yeah, he is. Leo says, how many Liverpool games have you been to, mate? Lost count at this point, to be honest. Did you Google him? Yeah, I had to Google him because I was unsure. If I was getting confused between him and a UFC fighter, and I was like, do you mean the UFC fighter? But no, you meant the footballer. Both left backs with a great left foot. Indeed. I actually kind of more liked Risa when Benitez played him as a left winger. And I can't remember who was left back at the time, but he'd play him as a left winger. And he played him as a left winger, certainly in 2007, and I think was it the Charity Shield? Was it the Charity Shield against Chelsea where he scored that goal from about 30 yards? So I quite liked him as a. I say left winger. It was more of a 4-4-2, so you could argue left midfielder. But yeah, Risa was great. Risa definitely better. Yeah, I agree with that. David says, I'm surprised it hasn't been checked because no attempt for the ball. VAR is so stupid. Yeah, I think you've probably summarized it in that last sentence there. VAR is beyond stupid. It's just the whole implementation of it is just pretty backwards. The whole clear and obvious, and that kind of doesn't make sense because the wording clear and obvious is down to interpretation. What's clear and obvious to one person is not clear and obvious to another person. I think they just need to simplify it. And once you simplify something, you can implement it consistently. Right now, it's a bit of a mess. Kolarov was my dad, left back, defender for Serbia. You want me to bring him up to confirm that this is your dad? This one here. For some reason, I was getting him confused with a UFC fighter. But is this the guy? Is this the guy that you're on about? Used to pay for... But hold on. Give me a sec. Or was it a different Kolarov? It's the Kolarov that's the AC Milan. Yeah, this guy. The Inter Milan manager. Yes, it was Alan Smith, says Zaim. He had a broken leg and a dislocated ankle from a free kick. That was nasty. I still remember that. But I think that showed how much power Risa used to get into his shots. I certainly don't remember any Liverpool player since who could get that much power into his shot. It was pretty insane. Steven said, it's like good to like have you back in it. Merry Christmas, like in it. It's good to be back. How are you, Steven? Hope you are good. Hope you had a nice Christmas. I had fun in Italy, eating ice cream every single day. But thankfully, I don't think I've put much weight on, so I'll take that as a positive. This is who Jonathan had a confrontation with. It was by a guy, he looked 32 to 36, and he and his wife and his kid, I think it was his kid, we were walking around, we were 4 guys, 2 of us were vaping, me and another guy was shadow boxing, walking at night, and we were close to the people. My friend accidentally punched me. I fell back, and my friend said to me, "Get up, don't act like a..." The guy heard it. You mean the guy heard it? And yelled at us, the 2 who were smoking and taking pictures. They bumped into his wife and he verbally abused us. I see. So it was a bit of a unfortunate situation. I hope it was not too traumatic either way. Ekitike Jr., who may be the son of Hugo, says, we should be winning this. My father's shot definitely got the confidence and momentum up. Good possession. He did go very close. Hit the post. But yeah, I wouldn't be satisfied with just a 1-0 here. Wolves are terrible. Wolves have got 2 points. So I'm hoping for a battering here. Steven says, didn't get to have your commentary versus Spurs and had to listen to Radio 5 was tough. I appreciate that. Thankfully, I'm here until... When am I going away next? Until February. So You have me to put up with until February. I ended up watching the Spurs game alone in my hotel room, which is interesting. Mr. Kipling is fish. Doesn't Mr. Kipling make cakes? That's Mo Scout's father. So do you want me to call you Nicola then? Shall I call you Nicola from now on? Dan says, hi, did you have a nice time in Italy? I did, it was good. I enjoyed it. Did all the touristy things. I walked up the dome of St. Peter's Basilica, which was like 550 stairs. Ate a lot of ice cream, ate a lot of pasta, ate a lot of pizza. So it was good. I enjoyed it. How was your time off? Did you have a nice time? Jonathan, I'm trying to sympathize with you here, but you've said in this situation you bumped into somebody's wife, and I pretended I didn't see that, and then you jumped a guy and you beat him up, and you were saying, but the thing is, you started with I was verbally abused over Christmas, and I said, okay, tell me about it, and then you said, I bumped into somebody and then I beat them up. That's probably not how I would resolve an argument. But I hope he's not too badly hurt. Jonathan says, will you do the World Cup? Indeed, I will. Ooh. Mo Skelt is dropping a song on my channel on 25th of February. Very nice. You'll have to remind me closer to the time. I will certainly check that out. Just call me Mo Skelt and not Nicola. Okay, Mo Skelt it is. Charlie says Liverpool win today. I hope so. I can't lie. I would have liked a goal in the first... It's been about 25 minutes. I would have liked the goal by now, but it is what it is. Dan says Liverpool. I saw that today somewhere. I can't remember where. Liverpool rumored to be looking at Goncalo Ramos from PSG on loan as cover for Isak. That was it. I think it was BBC. I mean, if he's available on loan, I'd be interested. Is that something you'd be interested in? Does that concern you that the Isak injury might be a bit more serious if they are going to the extent of loaning a player in for him? It does make you wonder. But in terms of a player, I think he's decent. XTK says, I feel like Vert is doing well. Frimpong's calming down possession. 3-0 the Redmen. I'd take that. I'd 100% take that. For now, I just want one goal. And then hopefully a few more after that. Rubbish corner. Fish says, let's play football. Well, we are currently watching the professionals play football, but I use the word professionals very loosely. I know what that is. That's one of the first things you made me Google. It's a bird. Or a pigeon. No, not a pigeon. It's like a little bird thing. Some brain rot thing. Mo Scout says, Sergio Ramos to Milan. Here we go. Sergio Ramos. Is he still a thing? I saw there was a rumour that he might go to United. But surely he needs to... I was going to say hang the gloves up. But surely he needs to hang the boots up at this point. XTK says Wolves defense isn't doing bad. Yeah, I think they're doing all right. I think they're doing okay. It's up to Liverpool to break them down. And so far the Wolves defense has looked pretty resolute. Wolves are defending very deep. Van Dijk kind of trying to spray it out to Frimpong. Liverpool are going to need to quicken it up because this slow play when Wolves have 11 players behind the ball, this ain't going to work. They need to quicken this up a bit. Frimpong quickens it up. Cross. McAllister. Ooh, McAllister hits the bar. Liverpool have hit the bar twice. One of the Sky Sports news presenters retired the other day, says Dan. Claire Tomlinson. Is she the blonde lady with the short hair? Claire Tomlinson. Oh yeah. She's retired. She can't be that old though. She's only 57. Says she's 57. She was pretty good, to be fair. I wonder why she's retired. She was one of the better ones. Mo Scout does not want to be an outfield player. He'd like to be a goalkeeper, not a defender like my dad. Fair enough. You get that sometimes. You don't necessarily have to play the same position. I heard there was a rumour about Bradley Barcola joining Liverpool, but that's bad, but that's unlikely. I think that's unlikely. It'd probably cost north of about 100 million. Ekitike hits it wide. Jonathan says the guy verbally abused us. That's why I attacked him, and he's in hospital. Oh, I hope he makes a swift recovery. Same says we only have Ekitike as a striker now. Yes, Isak's injured. Nunes is not there. Salah's at AFCON. Slot won't resolve issues like Klopp, where he looked within the club with Jadon Downs. It's a shame Klopp never got full backing because he kept overperforming. Yeah, that's an interesting point. I think Klopp was more willing to promote youth and make use of youth. That's certainly how 66 got his start, and that's certainly how Curtis Jones got his start. Slot seems a bit more reluctant to do that. I don't know what the situation with Jadon Downs is. Is he back from injury now? Because he seemed to be repeatedly getting injured. But I hope if he's fit and if he's available, I hope the manager gives him a chance. He's got a decent finish on him. Regarding the money thing with Klopp, I presume. I mean, I don't know for certain. I presume the money was always there, but you have to want to ask for the money. Like you have to put in a business case to the owners to say, I want this much money to do this. Whereas I think Klopp struck me as the type of guy who perhaps didn't like spending money and more liked to work with a smaller squad and more promote youth. So it could be more of a thing whereby I think that was more Klopp's personality trait to not necessarily ask for big money. But I don't know. I'm just guessing, to be honest. Just based on, and I'd base that just based on how important relationships were to him. He's the type of guy who would, as an example, rather use Harvey Elliott than buy Wirtz or somebody like that. Not saying one way of doing it is bad and the other way of doing it's good. It just feels like different ways, different interpretations of the same thing. Mike Wedderburn, he lives 5 miles from me. Very nice. Have you ever spoken to him before? Remember me? Ah, yes. What the Celtic? I do remember What the Celtic. And then you changed your name to John. Was it John? I think it might be. We have enough attackers. That's just greedy. Most Gelt says, I don't know, my coach says I'm better off as a goalie. I was the reason we won against La Masia. So I'll stick to goalkeeper for now. Do you enjoy being a goalkeeper? I think that's the most important thing. Fish says, many men wish death upon fish. That's unfortunate. I do not wish death upon fish, so that's positive. Zaim says, in the recent club interview, he said himself that he didn't know the club had these funds. We missed out on Caicedo, Bellingham, Tchouaméni. It could be a combination of these things. It certainly seems like the spending that they've done recently, that was more pushed by Michael Edwards and more pushed by, Jesus Christ, I've been on holiday, I can't remember his name, Richard Hughes. Whereas when Klopp was there, it was maybe it was a case of Klopp trying to do too much, and so he wasn't really made aware of the finance side. Because when Klopp had a dedicated sporting director, so he had Michael Edwards there, Liverpool did buy Van Dijk, Liverpool did buy Alisson. I appreciate they basically just respent the Coutinho money. Whereas when that structure went, then it feels like a lot of the big signings went. So that's these situations, I think they're typically more complicated than we're led to believe. And I think also it's not a case whereby a manager can just say, hey, I want 150 million, and FSG say, okay, here's 150 million. I think there's an internal process whereby the owners have to be convinced to spend that 150 million. And Klopp didn't have the skills, because Klopp's not a businessman, to convince venture capitalists to spend that money. Whereas I think if Klopp had an Edwards there or had a Richard Hughes there, they would have had the skills to convince the John Henrys and the Tom Werners to spend that to spend that money. So I would say it's more symptomatic. Ooh, that's a good turn by Wirtz. I'd say it's perhaps more symptomatic of the structure or the lack of structure. Because I think when Klopp was there, he had what's his name, Schmadtke as a sporting director, but Schmadtke felt like more of a pseudo sporting director who would just Schmadtke very much felt like an extension of Klopp, which meant that he was just going to do what Klopp did. Whereas I think if Klopp had a dedicated sporting director, I think things could have gone a bit differently. But who knows? I could talk about this forever. Dan misses Klopp's management and his unique management style. I miss that also. I also miss the playing style. It was a lot more exciting than this dross. Jonathan thinks Villa will win the league. I would like to see Villa win the league. I can't lie. Jonathan sports Villa now. Is that like for definite, or are you just messing? Who did you support previously? It was Chelsea, wasn't it? Most Scout enjoys playing as a goalkeeper. I think that's the most important thing. Dan, who lives near Mike Wedderburn, I spoke to him a few times. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool leave in the January. If Salah leaves Liverpool in the January window due to friction between Slot and Salah. I wouldn't be surprised also. It seems like Salah's gonna have to accept being, I'm not gonna say a bit part player because that would be incorrect, but would have to accept being part of the squad alongside everybody else, and I'm not sure he's willing to accept that. Mo Scout says we are doing everything for watching the game. You are correct. The game I watched last week in my hotel room, Kirk has hit it over, was I could focus on that one. But yeah, this one I've got one eye on it. Dale says hello my favorite red. I say hello my favorite blue. How you doing, Dale? Hope you're doing good. That's a good question. When is a gaming stream coming up? To be honest with you, I've been playing a lot of games, but I just haven't been streaming. I'll try and do one next week, because I believe the next Liverpool game is on Thursday, which gives me any one of those days during the week. So I'll try and do one during then. Dale is good. That's good to hear. I hope you had a nice Christmas. Hope you had a nice time off. I was in Italy. I ate a lot of pasta, a lot of pizza, and a ton of ice cream. So this shirt is a bit tighter than it was 2 weeks ago, but that's life. Zaim says, I feel like we missed out on players by small margins with penny pinching, because with Caicedo we bid, so there's evidence that money was there to spend, and instead we got Endo. The Caicedo thing, I would presume the Caicedo deal fell through because Liverpool didn't do the groundwork. It almost felt as if Liverpool did the groundwork with Bellingham, and then when they failed to get Bellingham, they then tried to get Caicedo. But it almost felt as if Chelsea had done all the groundwork. Yeah, it's like Chelsea had taken him out on dates for a year. Chelsea had proposed to him, and the week before he was gonna. Then Caicedo got engaged to Chelsea, and the week before he was gonna marry Chelsea, we asked him, "Do you want to marry us instead?" And he was like, "Nah." So I think, there was a lack of planning there. But the Endo thing was funny. But that again it also showed a lack of planning, and which is kind of why you need a sporting director. I just think the whole structure at that time was bizarre. You had Klopp, who was kind of a jack of all trades, and then for a long period Liverpool didn't have a sporting director, and then Liverpool got Schmatker in, but Schmatker didn't seem like his own man. He merely seemed like a guy there to do the bidding of Klopp. And I just feel like Liverpool structurally, they just weren't there. And I also feel like when structurally you aren't set up properly, it then does not facilitate buying the right players and identifying the right players. So I think at that time there was a complete lack of structure in the club, which led to desperation in terms of bidding for Caicedo last minute, as you mentioned, and also led to desperation in terms of going for Endo when that didn't work out. Jonathan is assaulting his keyboard. Please don't assault your keyboard. I don't know what your keyboard has done to deserve that kind of treatment. Yes, this is the guy that lives above you, isn't he? The Wolverhampton Wanderers fan. Fish is saying, "Ooh, Liverpool have scored. Is that Gravenberch?" Gravenberch is doing the Jota celebration. That kind of came out of nowhere. Is that another assist by Frimpong? If that's another assist by Frimpong, that's 2 assists in 2 games. I kind of just saw the ball roll into the box and then Gravenberch smack it. They're showing a replay now. So Chiesa had the ball, goes to Frimpong. Frimpong beats 1 player. Frimpong beats 2 players. Cuts it back to Gravenberch. Nice. That's all Frimpong, that is. Frimpong beat 1 player, beat a 2nd player, got to the edge of the touchline, and then cut it back to Gravenberch, and then Gravenberch slots it in. That's 2 assists in 2 for Frimpong. It's pretty nice, but I've got a lot of catching up to do. Jonathan really wants me to stand up for some reason. I don't know why. I assure you, I am wearing clothes underneath this because it'd be weird if I wasn't. Same says another. Oh my God! Liverpool have just scored again. It's Wirtz. every time I start reading Zame's comment, Liverpool score. So I'm gonna take it off the screen, and then I'm gonna bring it up again. And then Liverpool will score a third time. I think that's Wirtz. Wirtz has just scored. Mo Scout says 1-0, 2-0. It is 2-0. I think that's a goal by Wirtz. Stephen says a couple of likes there, Uma. Appreciate that, Stephen. Let's see what happened here. Ekitike wins the ball. Ekitike just basically passes it forward to Wirtz, and Wirtz one-on-one with the keeper, slots it in. This is better. Wow, I've literally just updated the score, and now it's 2-0. Ibrahim says, who's playing better? When you first wrote that, it was 0-0. And now it's 2-0. Frimpong is the best right back in the world, says Ibrahim. I like Frimpong, I can't lie. For me, he's the first choice right back. Defensively, he's fine, and even if he's defensively out of position, he has the pace to get back. But going forward, he's absolutely amazing. But yeah, I'll bring this up a third time, and then hopefully Liverpool score a third time. Another one, as I say that, Liverpool put the ball into the box, was with Luis Diaz. When we nearly won the quadruple, we only bought him at the time because Spurs were going to bid. Again, that I think that shows a lack of planning. It's almost as if I almost feel with the Diaz situation, if you really wanted him, you would have got him without Spurs forcing their hand. It's almost as if, somebody else wants him, therefore we want him instead. If you really wanted him, you would have bought him beforehand. There was a lack of urgency with bringing in high quality players. I think that whole time period was bizarre. I think Liverpool worked best when you had Klopp as the manager, you had Michael Edwards as the sporting director, and you had Julian Ward there. At the time, I believe Julian Ward was the deputy sporting director. I think that worked best. But naturally, you get too many egos. They clash. Some of the egos left. So Michael Edwards left, Julian Ward left, and then Klopp was left to do everything on his own. And I think it could be that sort of situation whereby there's no sporting director, so targets are missed out on. It was just a very messy time. Vats finally scores. To be fair, Hakimi seems like somebody who would be quite good at basketball. Brendo Fly Guy says, hi, how you doing? Let me just catch up. David says, how do you feel we're playing today? It's better. The thing is, I can't draw any definitive conclusions from it because Wolves are dog. I was going to say something worse. Wolves are terrible. Wolves have got 2 points. I feel like if me and David were in a team, we'd get more than 2 points. So a lot of it is skewed based on the fact that Wolves are terrible. But it is better, I guess. Oh, sorry, before the goal. It was okay. It was nothing special. I feel like it was okay. See, I could Google that, but if I was to Google that, I feel like Google would autocorrect that into something that I do not want to see and into something nobody wants to see. Rory says, who scored? Gravenberch and Wirtz. Finn says, my boy Warts scored. Indeed, he did. Are you drinking vodka? Thankfully not, because Liverpool are winning. But if Liverpool were losing, I might have to. Oh my God, Konate just loses the ball, but thankfully Van Dijk sweeps up for him. My girlfriend is a pigeon. Well, since you're a fish, I guess that makes sense. She would have to come and visit you. I don't think you can visit her because you exist in water, whereas she can fly anywhere. So it's a long distance relationship, but she is covering most of the distance. It would be quite difficult for you to cover the distance, I think. Half time. Ant says, have you ever been to a game before? Plenty of times, multiple times. I'm going to the next one I'm going to is the Legends game in March, which should be good. No, I've never sat in the cup. I always sit in the main stand. The thing is, the very first time I went, I sat in the main stand, and I always liked the view there. So I've never risked sitting in the Kop or the Anfield Road or the Kenny Dalglish. I just stick to, you know what, I like the view from there. I can see the left side and can see the right side. What concerns me a bit about the Kop and the Anfield Road end is you're behind the goal. So I'm not sure if I could get a proper view of everything there. It's something I have to try once. But I always chicken out. And sit in the Anfield Road end. Grace is back. Good to hear. Liverpool are 2-0 up, which is pretty good. So you were correct when you were saying Liverpool were playing well. Jeffrey says, how's it? All good. I was on holiday last week. I just came back, which was fun. And Liverpool are winning 2-0, which is also fun. How are you doing, Jeffrey? Grace got a new TV for Christmas. Hopefully it will be on my wall tomorrow. Very nice. Good stuff. What's the first thing you're going to watch on your new TV? Have you got anything planned? Are you going to watch a movie or are you going to watch the football? Or you're going to play some games? Wirtz got his goal. Indeed, he did. Good assist by Ekitike as well. They did that whole VAR check for offside thing, and Wirtz was a mile onside. So yeah, it was a good goal, good finish, to be honest. Pretty happy with that. First thing's going to be football or go on my Xbox to play Rocket League. Nice. Is Rocket League your favorite game? Rocket League's quite good. It's a good kind of pick up and play type of game. Jeffrey's all good, which is good to hear. Raza says, "Can we agree? Kerkez is awful." I quite like Kerkez. I don't think he's quite hit the heights of last season yet in the Liverpool system. But as a player, I like him. I certainly like him a lot more out wide. I think when Kerkez was first signed, Slot had him inverting inwards, and I didn't like that because I don't think he's very good on the ball. I would just like to keep him out wide where he can get up and down the pitch and put crosses in. Zaim says Wirtz's pass to Ekitike for his chip shot that hit the post needs to be talked about more. Indeed, it does. Indeed, I think Wirtz is settling into the team now, which is nice to see. Typically, when you join and there's a big price tag, it can bring a lot of pressure, and I think maybe he felt that pressure because he's quite young. I think he's about 22 or something like that. But I think he's definitely starting to find his feet, which is good to see. I'm going to stop the timer. I agree with Jeffrey. It's better, but the game is still not the standard I think they're capable of. Yeah, I think a lot of this, I don't want to sound harsh or judgmental, but it feels like it's 2-0 because it's Wolves, and Wolves are terrible. Wolves have 2 points, which is insanity. So I agree. If it was a different opposition, things would probably be a bit different. Cash's life is over. That's unfortunate. Are you the deputy director of the FBI, or are you a different Cash? Swizzer says Wolves goals don't count. Who are Liverpool playing next? Does the next game count? I'm playing Heat Seeker instead of 2s on Rocket Leagues because I have more fun with it. Fair enough. Stick to whatever you find the most fun. Zaim says, I can understand the plan with Kerkez now. We're playing to his strengths by not playing Gakpo. Did you see that interview that Kerkez did where he said, I'm having really good link up with Wirtz on the left? And a lot of people interpreted that as shade on Gakpo. The thing is with Gakpo's whole deal is cutting inside and whacking it at the goal, which naturally makes things difficult for an overlapping fullback. Unfortunately, I think Gakpo will come back into the team because he's Slot's son. So when he comes back into the team, I hope he does make use of Kerkez a bit more. Fish says Google tennis ball. I'm going to Google it off screen because everything that you tell me to Google, I always Google in a separate browser. Like, what is this? What even is this? What? I mean, it's kind of funny to look at. What's the? I almost regret asking, but what's the background of this and what is it about? Cash says same goals they have as. I was thinking of that as well. To be fair, same goals they have as points. Boeing 787 Dreamliner. We have an aircraft which is defending Wirtz. Says any excuses against Wirtz? These people, bro. Yeah. To be honest, at this point, it's kind of funny. But Wirtz is playing well. He got a goal, and to be honest, he could have also gotten a assist for Ekitike. I think he's starting to find his place in the team. That's a good question. Who do we play next? Says Grace. Liverpool fixtures. Leeds United. So it's Leeds on Thursday. That should be hopefully a win. Fulham on Sunday, then Arsenal on the following Thursday. I think our Arsenal game's going to be quite tough. Jonathan says we'll play a game. Oh, I will name a player. You will rate him on a scale of 1 to 10 based on their footballing ability. Okay, let's go. Let's give that a try. Jeffrey says it's the festive season. Joins Harry in order. It is the best time for that. Hope you've had a nice Christmas. If we play Gakpo, we will need a defensive fullback like Philip Lahm because of the parallels with Gakpo and Arjen Robben. Not saying they're the same quality, but just saying generally from a conceptual perspective. You could be right. Yeah, you could be right. You could be onto something. I think, unfortunately, both of Liverpool's fullbacks are attacking in nature. So Robertson traditionally was very attacking. Appreciate he's a bit older now, so that becomes a bit more difficult as he gets older. But Kerkez is very attacking. So it will be interesting to see how. I guess number one, it will be interesting to see will Gakpo come right back into the team, and number two, it will be interesting to see if and when he comes back into the team. What is that going to mean for Kerkez? Manuel Schnitzel says, why are you a Liverpool fan? Good question. When I was 6 years old, I was in class, and the older brother of a girl in my class, so not the girl in my class, but her older brother, for some reason was in our classroom, and he said to me, you should support Liverpool, they're really, really good. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, you should support them, they're really, really good. And I was like, okay. That's the whole story, to be honest. As weird as it sounds, that is the story. The older brother of a girl who was in my class is responsible for this. Grace says, ooh, my friend's team. Is that as in Leeds or Arsenal? Arsenal will be tough, especially since it's away. Jeffrey says, Wirtz is the man of the match. Yeah, he's had a very good first half. He's looked very tricky on the left-hand side. Could have got an assist for Ekitike, but also got a goal. Josh says Burnley and West Ham will both win 1-0 today. What are the current scores? Shall we have a look? Oh. Arsenal 1-0 up, which is a shame. Burnley 0-0. So Josh is predicting 1-0 for them. West Ham 0-0. Josh is predicting 1-0. Could happen. Valverde, did you say rank them out of 10? Can I use decimals? Can I say 8.5? Ah, your mate is a Leeds fan. Fair enough. The story is 100 years old. See, Bowler says, I saw you at the Tottenham Stadium. When? I don't think I've been to the new one. So it might have been somebody who looks like me. Hugo Ekitike clears Mbappe at the moment. Depends what you mean by clears. He is in very good form, and it's good to see that. Louis Pepper says not at the game, not today. I just got back from holiday a few days ago, and I'm still pretty jet lagged, to be honest. What's your favorite holiday destination? As in where I've been this year? Number 1 was Canada. Number 2 was New York. Number 3 was Prague. Number 4 was Netherlands. Number 5 was Italy. Number 6 was Lisbon. But yeah, Canada would be number 1 for this year. I preferred Canada over New York. Well, it depends. I went to Montreal and I went to Toronto. Montreal, I preferred over New York. But New York, I preferred over Toronto. Manuel says, is Man United below Liverpool? I believe so. I don't know if you can see it there. So Liverpool currently 4th. And United currently 6th. Grace says, have you ever been to Anfield? Plenty of times. I'm going again in March. And the last time I went was maybe around September time. But yeah, next time I'm going is March. Oh, no decibels. So not decibels, decimals. Rate Valverde out of 10. I'm going to say... I'm going to say 8. 8 out of 10. Dot says, I'm back. Do you remember me? I do remember you. How are you doing? I think I was asking you, should I call you Dot or should I call you full stop or should I call you period? And then I said, okay, maybe not the last one. And you were like, I don't mind. Kicked off. Grace says, why not next month? Lol. Next month I'm going to Tokyo. That's why. I'm going to Japan for the first time in my life. I'm going to be a bit busy. I say next month, to be honest, February. Which I'm quite excited about. Villa versus Chelsea, who will win? Is it... Am I being a coward if I say it's going to be a draw? I feel like that would be a bit cowardly of me. By the way, they've started second half. There you go. The general says 4th, mad, ain't it? After a bad run. It is pretty crazy. I would... Ooh, Wirtz again. Wirtz is playing so well today. He just skipped past the player and the player fell over. That's how you know. I mean, that's how you know things are starting to click. When you're doing your little tricks and things and the opposition player's falling over. But 4th is pretty crazy. Still a long way to go. OBJ says Shirky better than Wirtz, admit it. I don't think so. I think they're both good. They're both good players. But I would rather have Wirtz over Shirky. See, I did remember you. Grace says, bro, are you rich? How? I'm not rich. I just, when people say, how'd you go on holiday so often? I say, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't vape. I don't like expensive clothes. So then I just end up spending most of my money on travels. Yes, Fish, I googled your tennis bird ball. Jonathan says, Jadon Sancho, rate him now and rate him in his prime. Now? I don't even know what he's doing. Is he still at Chelsea or is he... What's going on with Jadon Sancho? Should we have a look? Is he at Villa? Okay, so he's on loan at Villa. I mean, right now, I'm not sure you could give him... Is he even playing? Is Jadon Sancho even playing? Would it be harsh to give him 1? To give him 1 out of 10 right now because he's not playing. And this isn't a isolated time period where he's not playing. He hasn't been playing for a while. So I'm not sure how I could give him more than 1. Rate him in his prime. I guess his prime would be when he was playing for Dortmund a couple of years back. Probably 8 again, because he did look really good for Dortmund. Then he went to United and his career was ruined. So I'd say 8, maybe 8 in his prime. 8 out of 10 in his prime, and 1 out of 10 now. Grace says, I think the Wolves manager regrets leaving Middlesbrough. Yeah, he probably does, to be honest with you. Hopefully we can make him regret it a bit more by scoring a few more goals. Frimpong just wins the ball from nowhere, skips past 2 players. Frimpong is probably also in a shout for man of the match. I'd say the 2 best players today have been the 2 former Leverkusen players. Do people still want Slot out, or has that whole situation calmed down since? There's a woman in the crowd with a box of cakes and she's just eating. I think she's munching through a box of cakes, which is fair enough. Of all the things to eat, cake is pretty good. How is it when you boil a banana, you lose its sweetness and it turns into starch, mushy stuff? What is the science behind it? Good question. I would presume... So bananas are covered in starch. And I presume... Oh, Wolves have got one back, which is a bit of a joke. I presume the banana itself holds up less well under high heat than the starch. So when you boil the banana, the composition of the banana disintegrates, but starch has a higher smoke point, I presume. So it's like the banana is disintegrated, but to disintegrate the starch, you need a lot more heat. So therefore, the starch is left. An uneducated answer, but I would guess. Wolves unfortunately have scored. Kanate's on the floor. I'm trying to see a replay. So it was a cross. Konate missed the header. Alisson kind of palmed away the header, and then it was a tap in for the Wolves player. I'm hoping this is disallowed. Still slot out until I've seen more. Fair enough. Is there somebody in particular you'd want? Would you want Alonso, or I think you've mentioned probably Andoni Iraola in the past. Is there somebody in particular that you would want in? Unfortunately, this goal is standing, so I better update it. Dele Alli in his prime, again 8 right now, probably 0. If pineapples are the only fruit that wear their spikes on the outside like a punk rocker, why haven't they started a rebellion against being turned into pina coladas? Yeah, that's a good question. I guess once they are... Perhaps they are attempting to start a rebellion, but unfortunately a rebellion can't do much against a kitchen knife. And by the time the pineapple skin has come off, then there's not much that they can do, I'm afraid. And why are we limiting the rebellion to pina coladas? Should they not start rebellion over appearing in pizza or appearing in other places? That's what we need to consider. Ludwig says no. Lila says, who scored for Liverpool? It was Gravenberch scored the first one. Assist by Frimpong. And Florian Wirtz scored the second one. Assist by Ekitike. So Ekitike and Wirtz. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? I believe he's in the US somewhere. How many times is Slot not addressing our set piece weaknesses? You are right, because this happens game after game, and you would think he would at least try to change something to ensure it doesn't happen a second time, but I don't know if it's stubbornness or what it is, but it keeps on happening. Dude, I answered all your questions about banana starch and also about the pineapple rebellion, but I like the creativity. I will say, I think your questions are better than my answers, to be fair. Fish wants tennis ball bird to manage Liverpool. Who would be assistant manager? Would that be you or would that be me? Yeah, I was worried. I was rating all of them, mate. Davo says, what was the Wolves goal like? A bit messy, but a goal is a goal. It was a Wolves corner, and the Wolves player headed the corner. Alisson palmed it out, and then as Alisson palmed it out, Wolves player just tapped it in. So it was messy, but a goal's a goal. Fish says, oh my god, did you call me babe? I did not, but we can pretend that I did. Maybe, is that okay? David Silva. I mean, I was going to say 8.5, but you've said I can't say 8 anymore. I'll say 9. 9 in his prime. His prime was probably Man City rather than Valencia. Right now, I think he's retired, so probably nothing. Ixo says exactly. Ixo is very happy. That's good to see. Do you prefer chocolate bars or fruit bars? Chocolate bars, 100%. And if it's a muffin, those little black dots, they better be chocolate chips. Don't give me no raisins. So chocolate bars every day of the week. Ah, yeah, I remember you were saying Nagelsmann after World Cup. And I remember you were saying he wasn't given a fair chance at Bayern. Because he was a bit too forward thinking, I think you were saying previously. A bit too revolutionary. And you think he can do a good job? Fair enough. He's a possibility. Really need another goal though. Maybe we can get Nagelsmann at 60 minutes. What the hell was that? Alisson plays a long pass, but completely screws up the pass and hits it out. I am semi-concerned Wolves seem to be coming back into this. But that's okay. Connor says Agent 0018 scored. Indeed he did. Unfortunately, he will not be triple 007, although he was double. Fish says red card for Fulham. Dang. Are they playing West Ham? And who got sent off? Ekitike. Ekitike falls over. To be honest, looked like a bit of a dive. Referees waved it on. Is that Raul Jimenez? Does he still wear the headband, or has that come off? Charlotte says rank these attackers for counter-attacks. I mean, you'd have to put the first two as I'd probably put Salah 1, Mane 2. Partly because of just the raw pace that they had, which is vital to counter-attacks. Maybe Jota 3, maybe Isak 4. So, yeah. Salah, Mane, Jota, Isak. Can you repeat what you said about David Silva? I was in the bathroom. David Silva, I think I ranked 9 out of 10 because you said I was not allowed to use decibels. Not decibels, decimals. And I said I think the prime of his career was Man City, not Valencia. So I'll give him a 9 out of 10. And in terms of, because you said there's two parts to this. So first part is what would you rank them in their prime? And second part was what would you rank them? Ooh, close by Verts. What would you rank them right now? I think he's retired. He's been retired for a while, so I can't rank him right now. But yeah, 9 out of 10. That should have been another goal by Verts. Chiesa's coming off. Slot's seen enough. Connor Bradley's coming on. Slot's going defensive against Wolves. Don't like this. I presume Frimpong's going to go right wing and Connor Bradley's going to go right back. But going defensive against Wolves is crazy. That is a defensive change. Amarim, what are you doing? I'm diversifying my options. I'm worried I might get sacked by United soon. Even though I won yesterday because I changed the formation. But just in case I get sacked, I'm seeing if I can get the Liverpool job instead. Yeah, Frimpong's right wing now. Is that your name? That's not my name. He's pretending I'm Ruben Amorim. Harry Kane prime 9 out of 10. Right now, he's still being very good for Bayern. Right now, 8 out of 10. The reason I would maybe knock him down at 1 point is because I don't know if the German league is 100% representative of quality compared to Premier League and La Liga. And he is also a bit older now. So if we're saying his prime was 2021, then that's 4 years ago. Fish says stream RB Leipzig. What game is that? Who are they playing? Zane was watching a Steven Gerrard interview. How good was Gary McAllister? He was great. He was bought for very cheap. I can't remember if he was signed for free or if he was very cheap. But he had a tendency to pretty much always score. He had a tendency to score free kicks. He had a tendency to score penalties. And the thing is, he didn't even look like a footballer. He looked like a plumber. with his kind of bold head and super skinny frame. But he had a lot of skill. Good from dead ball situations, good from free kicks. Always seemed to come on and actually do something, which you don't see these days. Whenever McAllister was playing, he was never invisible. You'd always know he was playing. Curtis Jones, good shot, saved. Fish says better than Alexis. For reference, Fish absolutely hates McAllister. That's Alexis McAllister. Is he still your most hated player? Grace says, what cap you wearing next stream? I'm gonna have to wear something a bit more simple. maybe the blue one. Although you said you didn't like the blue one. Maybe a blue one or a red one or something. Ooh, Gravenberch. To Wirtz. He looks a bit like a electrician. It's Gary McAllister. I think the safe conclusion is he looked nothing like a footballer. which kind of made him all the more amazing, because you'd see this electrician / plumber / car mechanic step up and curl in a free kick. And he's very good at penalties as well, from what I remember. So in a way, that's what I liked most about him. Murat says, Arda Güler, Yildiz, Victor Osimhen. Are you a Galatasaray fan? I believe so. Have you got a Liverpool cap, says Grace? I do not. I've considered buying one, but I worry that would be Liverpool overkill, because I tend to wear a Liverpool shirt, and I almost feel like if I also wear a Liverpool cap, I would just look like I've been slapped by the Liverpool shop. It would feel a step too far. If I was to wear a Liverpool cap, then I'd have to wear a normal shirt. You can tell how much I've thought about this. Noel says, the manager's starting to annoy me, parking the bus against a team with less points than a triangle. I like that. Less points than a triangle. You are correct, because when I saw... I'm just still laughing at less points than a triangle. When I saw Bradley come on, which ultimately... So Bradley came on for Chiesa, which ultimately meant Frimpong, who was right back, has now gone forwards, and now Bradley's playing in Frimpong's position. It is a defensive change, and I kind of said the same thing. I didn't like it. Opinions on Chiesa's performance. He didn't do too much, but equally it's his first start in a while, so I'm not too worried about it. Fish says, buy a fish hat. Is there one you could recommend? Less points. Less points to the triangle. There's no two-dimensional shape that would mimic the amount of points that they have. I don't know if circle would count. Does a circle have any points? But I think the point is still funny. Gerard was saying how important he was in his development. Yeah, Gary McAllister was a very skillful player. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If you have a Liverpool cap and a Liverpool shirt, it's like you look like Ty, which means I'd have to have a mental breakdown every stream, and I'm Not quite at that age yet, but give it another few 10 years. Give it another 10 years, then maybe. Yeah, I think if I was to wear a Liverpool, if I was to wear a Liverpool cap, I'd have to wear a normal shirt. Max says 67777. Starting to think we would be in a relegation without... Ooh, just nasty kicks there by Andre on Kirkes. Without Grav, Ekitike and Wirtz. They've certainly been the standouts recently. Maybe we add Sabozlai to that as well. But you're right that they've certainly been the standouts. Great says buy another one. It's a possibility. A line. I guess you're right. A line has 2 points. That's a good one. Semicircle has 2 points. I didn't think of that. That's quite creative. Semicircle's got 2 points. Oh, Ekatike's down. Ekatike's hurt. Please don't be... He's holding his neck, which makes me think it's probably not like a serious injury. But I like semicircle. Google Sinan Bola. What is that? I've Googled this before. Oh yeah, you've told me I look like this guy, and I said yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it doesn't help that he's wearing red and I'm also wearing red, but yeah, I see what you mean about this one. The other one I remember, you said I look like Charlie Morningstar, which was a cartoon character. But this one I see what you mean. McAllister's not going to score from there, man. Cole Palmer. I mean, has Cole Palmer hit his prime yet? I mean, I want to say 8 again, but you've banned me from saying 8. So since you're not allowing me to say 8 out of 10 again, I'd probably say 7. But in reality, what I think is 8. And he hasn't hit his prime yet, so who knows? Who knows how good it could be? Read number 7. I missed that one. Mason Greenwood in his prime. In his prime 7. Actually, no, not in his prime. I mean, when he was at United, maybe 7 out of 10. But to be honest, I'm not too sure how he's doing at Marseille. And I'm not too sure whether he'll get better in the future. Zaim, not a fan of slot subs. I agree. You're playing Wolves. Why would you take... okay, maybe you want to take Chiesa off if he's not fully fit for 90 minutes, but taking Chiesa off and bringing Bradley on, that's a defensive change, which I don't like. I would have put Rio on the left wing, Wirtz attacking midfielder, drop McAllister left defensive midfielder with Gravenberch, and Jones right back, Frimpong right wing. Chiesa as a striker and sub off Hugo for Rio and wrap him in bubble wrap. We desperately need to wrap Hugo in bubble wrap, because if Hugo gets injured, we are screwed. It's very negative substitution, and I think Noel earlier was saying the same thing. You're playing Wolves, who have less points than a triangle, as Noel mentioned, and equal points to a semicircle, as Zayn mentioned. This can genuinely backfire. This can genuinely backfire. Rio would have been a good option. I mean, if you're not going to play Rio again at home, if you're not going to play Rio at home against a team that's got 2 points, then who are you going to play him against? You're not going to have any worse opposition than this. You're not going to have, other than cups, in the league, you're not going to have any worse opposition than somebody who's got 2 points after Christmas and you're at home. So if you're not going to play Rio then, does that mean you're never going to play Rio in the league? So yeah, it's a good point. I think Chiesa is better as a striker than a winger, don't know why. It's a good point. Perhaps he's not as fast as he once was, but he's got a good finish on him, so maybe that could be why. 9 Wirtz. So Wirtz, I don't think he's hit his prime yet. I think the best of what you've seen of him was probably at Leverkusen. Again, I'd say 8, but you've said I'm not allowed to say 8 out of 10. Put Wirtz right wing and take Frimpong off for Rio. And then you'd put Rio on the left. That could work. ARFC says score. You should say it here, just under my chin. 2-1. So happy for Wirtz. He's played really well, and I appreciate he got the goal, but his general play has been very good as well. So that's good to see. Yeah, my favorite number does seem to be 8. Every player that Jonathan asks to be ranked, I tend to say 8 out of 10. Wirtz to Ekitike. Ooh. Fish is forever blowing bubbles. What about Ronaldo Prime? So Ronaldo Prime would not be 8. Ronaldo would be 10. I'd be tempted to say 11 out of 10. But if we're strictly sticking to the scale, then yeah, he'd be a 10 out of 10. Zame agrees Chiesa's better centrally would fit well where McAllister's been playing. McAllister's been playing a bit like a pseudo striker recently. I don't know if I'm seeing things, but he seems to be playing in sometimes at the tip of the diamond, sometimes he's in the box, sometimes he's playing as a number 9. You're right. I think that those sort of spaces and those sort of spots, they're perfect for Wirtz. Here he is again. He surely gets fouled there, but referee waves it on. Duke Dumont says, I'm sick of seeing the confidence drain out of this team when we're 1, 2, 3 goals up. Where is the confidence? I agree. I agree 1,000%. It's I think number one, what is concerning is the substitution. So they took Chiesa off and they brought on a defender in Bradley. That to me says there's a lack of confidence, not just on the pitch, but also off the pitch from the manager. Wolverhampton Wanderers are terrible. They've got 2 points. And to make a defensive substitution against Wolverhampton Wanderers when you're at home, that doesn't inspire much confidence. But also on the pitch, there also seems to be a bit of a lack of confidence. I do think it's probably a mental thing, and it's just a mental block that they need to get over. Hopefully the more wins that they get, the more confidence it will give them, but it is still annoying. It's a bit like the Spurs game last week. Well, Liverpool 2-0 up, I think, and then Spurs got one back. And then suddenly everything's a bit anxious, even though Spurs have got 9 players. Bruno Fernandes, prime 8 out of 10. Right now, maybe 7. Dan thinks Wolves need new ownership. They certainly need something to invigorate the club, because 2 points after Christmas is beyond embarrassing. Duke says, exactly, that substitution sends out the wrong message to Wolves. That's a good point as well. It comes from the manager. We should be 4-5 up here. This team is there for the taking. They are absolutely atrocious. They are garbage. Speaking of atrocious garbage, speaking of atrocious garbage, Gakpo's warming up, but Gakpo is coming on. That was a bit harsh. It's just the timing of that was a bit coincidental. But yes, I'd expect Liverpool to go for the jugular. Stick on a third goal, stick on a fourth goal, not go defensive, because then you open yourself up to a risk. You risk Wolves getting another goal, and then if Wolves get another goal, then you're screwed because you don't have enough attacking players on the pitch. So yeah, I'm a bit worried about the substitutions, I can't lie. If we lose today, there has to be a big meeting over Arne's future at Liverpool. There does. I almost want some sort of outcome from these meetings, because it seems like they have meetings and they have these discussions, but there's never an outcome. It's just, ooh, we have a big meeting, and then things go back to exactly the same as how they were before. So I'd want to see an outcome from the meeting. Steven says, same lack of ability to score more as with Spurs when playing 2-1 up. Sorry, when 2-1 up playing 9 men. It's just a lack of confidence, lack of mental strength, lack of self-belief. Especially when that Richarlison goal went in, suddenly they looked shell-shocked, like they'd just taken a punch to the face. And you can, playing against 9 men, it's not, that kind of situation doesn't punish you too much. Playing against Wolves, who are rubbish, that kind of situation does not punish you too much. But Liverpool have Arsenal away coming up soon. And if they do this trash against Arsenal away, it's not going to be pretty. From your description of Gary McAllister, who was better, Bruno Fernandes or Gary McAllister? I loved Gary McAllister and I detest Bruno Fernandes, but unfortunately I'm going to have to say Bruno Fernandes. McAllister more felt like a super sub type of guy. Duke says that substitution basically says we're settling for 2-1 in the 60th minute. Yeah, we're just gonna defend now. We're just gonna defend. It's insane. It's insanity. At home to bottom of the league. And the thing is, for me, they're not just bottom of the league. They're absolute trash. They've got 2 points. I'd expect, okay, fair enough, you have to take Chiesa off at 60 minutes because he's not fully fit, no problem. But to make such a negative substitution is just kind of disgusting, to be honest. And I think you mean at the end, it's we're saying it's good enough, but we feel, as in most people here, we feel like it's not a good enough thing. I almost feel like Liverpool are sitting back a bit now, which is not great. You've got two right backs on the pitch. Owen says, been through the worst period in our history. That is true. It's certainly in recent history. Jonathan says, Bruno Fernandes is a 10 or a 9. No, absolutely not. I think 8 out of 10 was fair. Good player, but a bit one-dimensional. And I don't think he's ever really won any sort of trophy. Yeah, not good enough, yeah. It sends the message. So basically this here, generally speaking, what Duke is saying, making defensive substitutions at 60 minutes sends the wrong message to Wolves, and I think it also sends the wrong message to Liverpool that we're just going to defend for our lives for 30 minutes and it's not good enough. I agree. Bradley's gone down again because the Wolves player coughed a bit too loudly. That's probably him out for another few weeks. Ethan says, Jesus, what is it with the OG? As in the own goal? Has there been an own goal? Zabe says, Kanate of all people is trying to G up the fans, the irony. Yes, I think Ibu needs to just stick to defending. He's trying to G up the fans now because he's going to need the fans for a new contract because Madrid don't want him anymore. Can you make the rating more strict? The thing is, a lot of those players, they're good players, but not elite players. I'm sticking with the 8 out of 10. Dan thinks Liverpool should sell Chiesa as well as Salah in the window. What type of prices would you be expecting for each of those? Like what kind of transfer fee? Ekitike is coming off. Ekitike looked a bit tired towards the end, so that probably makes sense. The only stadium Grace has been to is Riverside. Nice. What match did you go to see? And did you have a good time? Dan thought Chiesa was a panic signing when Slot took over as head coach. I'd say it was more of a, maybe not panic signing, but more of a market opportunity because he was available for 12 million. And if he's available for 12 million, it makes sense because 12 million these days is not even a risk. So I understood it. Yeah, as Finn says, definitely hanging on, which is not what you want. Not what you want against Wolves. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, last ditch tackle by Bradley. Leeds was won. Very nice. Pedri out of 10. I mean, I was gonna say 8 again, but you've banned me from ranking players 8 out of 10. So since you've banned me from saying 8 out of 10, I have to either say 7 or 9, which means I'd probably go for 9. I mean, I don't like Wolves having another corner. This has got late Wolves equaliser written all over it. Marco Reus prime 9. Right now maybe 6, but he's a lot older now. I've been to Middlesbrough, Southampton away. Oh yeah, 7 hours is crazy. Preston away. Which one of those was your favourite? And Norwich away. You've been on quite a few travels, it seems. Sime, also possibly Dave Chappelle. How do you think Wirtz has played? I think Wirtz has played really well. He got a goal. His link-up play has been really good. I think it's been one of his better games. Duke says, other teams also know they only need to score a goal and our heads drop. Slot just doesn't have that passion in him which Liverpool requires. I'm sorry to say, but he hasn't. I think you're right. I think Liverpool do look very fragile. And there does also seem to be a lack of self-belief. And I think that's evident based on the substitutions. Ultimately, taking Chiesa off and bringing Bradley on at 60 minutes, I don't understand. Because you're playing Wolves. Wolves are garbage. Wolves have got 2 points. At 60 minutes, you need to go for the jugular. But Liverpool just seem far too content to try and defend the lead, and that I understand there's certain occasions where you're going to want to defend the lead. If this was Real Madrid away, if this was Man City away, I understand that substitution. But Wolves at home, I don't understand that substitution. It's just too pragmatic, I think. Yeah, as Liverpool FCX says, poor second half, we should be much better. I would have expected at least another one goal, but ideally two. But to me, it just felt like once 60 minutes hit, they just shut up shop and said, "Oh my God, it's only half an hour now. We just need to survive half an hour." And that's not what they should be doing. I would expect a third goal. Porsche says, "Hey, how you doing, Porsche?" Sheffield as well. Which of those stadiums has been your favourite? Yeah, we have to hang on to a win, which is it's crazy though, isn't it? Hanging on against Wolves who've got 2 points. I don't know, man. Even if Liverpool win this, it's not a good sign. I met a really nice security guard at the Preston game. He was over 6'5". Wow. I mean, perfect height for a security guard. GSVN didn't watch the game. How did we play? Not great. First half was decent. Liverpool got 2 goals. Second half has been a slug. I can't lie. Hazard prime 9 out of 10. Right now, I think he's retired. R9 prime. I'd be tempted to say 9.5, but I'll say 10 out of 10. Yeah, prime. 10 out of 10. Right now, he's retired. Zishan says, how much added time? 5 minutes. So about 4 minutes left. Clarence Seedorf, prime 9 out of 10. Is that JJ Okocha? 8 out of 10. Guti, 7 out of 10. If this is the Real Madrid Guti. Ladrop, 8 out of 10. Jacob thinks Preston are going to be Premier League next season. Could happen. Grace says, I think we're going to a home game, either Preston or Norwich. I haven't picked one yet. Do you know which one you're going to pick? Or are you still undecided? Benzema Prime. Would you say, I mean, it's going to be between 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10. I'd probably say 9. But, Wirtz is coming off. Trainee only is coming on, sorry. Ah, for your birthday. Good stuff. Akash says, how's Liverpool playing? First half was quite good. Second half has been boring as hell. Liverpool attacking or just defending, says Zishan. Defending, I'd say. Wolves have got the ball. Wolves hit it out. Yeah, if you want to know if you want to know the facts of the situation, just refer to what Sam is saying. That's all. That's all. That is 100% accurate. And if percentages were out of 1,000, that would be 1,000% accurate. Two minutes left. Doesn't really matter which one I pick because I've been to both of them. Fair enough. Abs needs Ekatike to score, man. Is he in your fantasy team? He is also in my fantasy team. So I would love him to score today. Yeah, it's not good, as Jake says. I mean, it's a win, but it's a pretty rubbish win. For a team that has 2 points and you're at home to them, you'd expect at least a couple more goals. Vinicius Junior out of 10. Probably 9. I could either choose the game 5 days before my birthday or 1 day after. Fair enough. It's a good choice to have. Stephen does not understand the obsession the youth have with ratings and arguing whether one player is better than another and who is the GOAT. It's all very American and not English. Yeah, I'm a bit similar. Quite often people will say, which one do you prefer, player A or player B? And I'll say, I prefer player A. But that's not necessarily a slight on player B. I think they're both very good. It does feel a bit American, as you said. I tend to be quite laid back about it in general. It's like out until July. Is that 6 months? I thought it was just 2. July's a while away. Modric, 9. Etsub says, I'm sorry, Liverpool, Ethiopia, me, Man United King. Well, I'm glad to talk to the king of Man United. You must be very happy with your result versus Newcastle yesterday. Neymar, the most overrated player I've ever seen in my life. I would say 8, but you've banned me from saying 8. Where do you think Liverpool will finish end of the season? Full time. Man, I can't believe we were hanging on for a win against Wolves. That's kind of embarrassing. But it is full time. End of the season, to be honest, I don't know. What I do know is that Man City are going to win the league. Kirkheads is too dangerous at the back. Kirkheads is a attacking left back, and the thing is, if you want an attacking left back, use him as an attacking left back. They almost signed an attacking left back, but are not playing to his strengths. It's over, John. It's full time. I should stop that so I don't confuse people. There we go. Do you think Liverpool will get top 3? It's possible. It's possible they're 4th, but to be honest, they're grinding out results at the moment. But they're grinding out results against bad teams. Wolves are not good. 9-man Spurs are not good because they've got 9 players and they're just about surviving these games. So it's a bit tough to say. Take care, Grace. When you next live? Thursday, Liverpool Leeds. I shall be back. But yeah, take care. Sloppy game. Yeah, we'll take the 3 points. We'll take the 3 points, but gonna need to see a lot. Gonna need to see a lot more against Leeds. Gonna need to see a lot more against Fulham. Gonna need to see a ton more against Arsenal. Adam says, hi, how you doing, Adam? Are you from Netherlands? Adam van Niekerk. Are you from Netherlands? Zaim says, what's actually very English is instead of rating players to shoehorn or is that like is this the whole Gerrard and Lampard when they'd always get shoehorned into the same team? I remember those days. I think part of the issue back in those days was everybody used to play 4-4-2, whereas if it was a 4-3-3, something would have worked a bit better. Yeah, very sloppy. Happy for Verts. Oh, you're not from Netherlands. Oh, whereabouts are you from? Duke says, can you imagine us going to the Emirates, going 1-0 down? It'll be a cricket score if we play like that. It won't be pretty. It will not be pretty. What I will say, if it's any sort of confidence, when teams come to play against Liverpool, they seem to do a bit better. For example, Inter Milan. For example, Real Madrid. So hopefully that's a degree of comfort, but equally that's not the whole story. They still need to perform against the lesser teams. Adam says 4. What's that? Jacob says Jamie Carragher was the best. Carragher was good. Carragher was a good centre-back. His performance in the Champions League final in 2005 is still one of the best performances. After the first half, still one of the best performances I've seen. 2-1 full time. From South Africa. Very nice. Good stuff. What a game. Is that sarcasm? Yeah, slot ball is boring, I can't lie. It is extremely boring to watch. Second half we were dog-turd. Yeah, we were. First half was quite good. Was decent, I'd say. But second half, it was almost as if they felt, okay, you know what? We've got 2 goals. Let's hold on to a lead. And that is a insane viewpoint to have when you're playing Leeds. If you're playing Real Madrid or Inter Milan or Chelsea or Man City, I understand. But you're playing Wolves. Wolves are garbage. You could get 11 of us together right now, and we'd get more than 2 points in the Premier League, and that's all that Wolves have. Jonathan says Van Persie is the GOAT. Is he like your GOAT of GOATs amongst above everybody else? Yeah, you were being sarcastic. Fair enough. Yeah, as a user says, first half we were really good. Then, same old boring, slow second half. Who is this? Another Johnny? Oh yes, there are 2 Jonathans. Yeah, Gakpo didn't do much. Why ain't Rio playing? This is what I was saying. If you're not going to play Rio at home against the 20th place team who have got 2 points, then when are you going to play him? Because surely this is... If you're ever going to play Rio in the league, then at home, when you're already ahead against the team in 20th, is surely the best. Is surely the best time to play him. Scott would do absolutely terrible, unspeakable things to Ekitike. Lucky Hugo, that's what I'll say. Lucky Hugo. Yeah, I did miss Sabozlai's energy, 100%. Tamara says terrible performance, especially the second half. I can't lie, it was so boring and so slow. I don't know why Liverpool would not go for the jugular and try and get a third goal. It seems like they just decided just to defend the lead, which was insane because Wolves are rubbish. Why would you do that? Adam's a Liverpool fan, very nice. Johnny can't believe McAllister played the whole match. Me neither. He looked exhausted after about 60 minutes, so let's hope he doesn't pick up an injury. Take care, Duke. I thought it was Sunday, but it's not Sunday. So, but yeah, have a nice weekend. Zame says, how can you differentiate performances of players late in their career compared to their prime? For me, estimations of Van Dijk has decreased unfairly. It's tough. It is tough. And I think what's even harder is comparing players across generations. So the best you can do is just do a rough approximation. Football, even 10, 15 years ago, was very different. So it's the best we can do with comparisons is just make a guess, I think. Seb, who is a blue and white seal, says it's 2-2. That would be a surprise since it's full time, but you never know. Adam says Liverpool did not do the best, especially the second half. Second half was so slow, so boring. Liverpool were just trying to defend, to be honest with you, which is a bit worrying. And again, we understand just trying to defend against Wolves not Wolves. We understand just trying to defend against Man City or Real Madrid or Chelsea or Arsenal, but to do that against Wolves is crazy. Yeah, that's a good observation by TM19816. And the slot, whenever we go 2-0 up, become the easiest team to play against. I don't know you're right. I don't know what the reason is. Is it laziness? Is it a mental thing? Is it overconfidence? Is it delusion? Is it I don't know what the reason is. But I think you're onto something 100%. They need to snap out of this because it happened against Spurs to the point where they almost drew to a team that had 9 men. It happened today against Wolves to the point where they almost drew against a rubbish team. So they need to snap out of this, to be honest, because it's a bit annoying. As Hassan says, that was very embarrassing. Yeah, shaky, definitely. Abdullah says a shaky second half, man. I think our pressing structure is a bit of an issue. Other than that, good game. I would have liked to have seen Liverpool go for the jugular and just go for a third goal. Like what I found borderline disgusting was at 60 minutes, Liverpool went defensive. They took Chiesa off and they brought Conor Bradley on. So you switched a right winger for a right back. And even if you've got to take Chiesa off because he's not fully fit, do it in a way that's a bit more attacking. Jonathan says, if you had important African players, as in Salah, it would have been a draw. Do you mean if Salah was playing, it would have been a draw? How did we play? First half was decent. Second half was pretty garbage, to be honest with you. Congrats. Barely won. Yeah, I mean, that could have been a draw. I can't lie. Was hoping Wolves won. To be honest, they were in with a shout. Hello, Jacob. King says apparently Slot is leaving at the end of the season. Who would you replace him with if he was to go? Nebs remembered. How was Italy? I appreciate you remembering. It was good. I ate a lot of pizza, a lot of pasta, and a lot of ice cream. What I will say, the pizza in Italy was good, but New York pizza was better. New York pizza was better than Italian pizza. But the pasta in Italy was very good. And the ice cream was amazing. Like every fifth shop is a gelato shop, like an ice cream shop, and it was so good. I was there like twice a day. But I did a lot of walking, so I'm hoping I've worked it off. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. Hugo did not get the goal today. Yeah, not today. I think he got an assist. Yeah, he did get an assist for the Wirtz goal. So that's something. Wolves should have gotten a point out of that. They shouldn't have, but it's not too crazy a thing to say, if you know what I mean. Liverpool should have put it out of bed, out of reach. But if Wolves did get an equaliser, I wouldn't be surprised. Come on, you Blues. Chelsea versus Villa score. I think it's going to be a draw. I appreciate that's a lazy, cowardly thing to say. But I think it'll be a draw. Abdullah says, why don't we go for it? I don't know. That's the $1 million question. We lack intensity and rhythm, very slow build-up, not many runs forward. Yeah, you're right. It's almost as if they're trying to protect the lead. And I understand trying to protect the lead against Man City or Inter Milan, but against Wolves? Garbage. Slot has to go. You need Gahey. I would love him, but apparently Liverpool are going to wait until he's free. We are fourth, says Adam. Indeed. Which is pretty crazy. I mean, after the season that has transpired, to be fourth is pretty wild. Yep, not so much struggled, but didn't. I wouldn't say they struggled, but I still would have expected more. I still would have expected maybe a third goal or a fourth goal, if you know what I mean. Glasner or Xabi Alonso, those are good shouts. Where are you planning to go next? I'm going to Japan in February. I'm going to Tokyo, which I'm excited about, but also a bit nervous about. But yeah, I'm going to Japan in February. I that's actually quite funny. Sad to see Wirtz is not coming good. I appreciate the honesty, and yeah, it was quite funny as well, to be fair. We need defensive options, says Abdullah. Depth is a massive concern. We're one Van Dijk injury away from disaster. Hussein supports Arsenal, fair enough. Yeah, Wolves fans always very respectful. Zame's Premier League era 11. Okay. What's your formation here? Can you clarify what your formation is? Alisson, Risa, Van Dijk, Hippier, Carragher. Is Carragher right back? That's a bold choice. And unless you're playing three at the back or something. Gerrard, Xabi, Coutinho, Mane, Suarez, Salah. I'd want clarity on the formation here. I'd put Alisson, yes. Left back, I'd put Robertson. This is Premier League era. So left back, I'd put Robertson. Centre backs, I'd put Van Dijk and Matip. I'd put Matip over Hippier. You'd put Carragher right back. Carragher for me never had the pace to be right back. But fair enough. I'd put Steve Finnan right back. Steve Finnan I thought was very good. In terms of midfield, if I'm doing a 4-2-3-1, it's tough, because I feel like Gerrard's best position is Coutinho's position. I'd almost go Fabinho, Alonso, Gerrard. Something like that. And then Mane, Salah, Suarez, I'd agree with that. It is tough because there's so many good players. Yeah, no Trent. I'm just being a bit biased, to be honest. To be honest, being truthful, if you had asked me 2 years ago, I would have put Trent. But now I'm biased and I'm a bit bitter and I'm a bit butthurt, so I pretend he doesn't exist. But at least I'm honest about it. Isak will be back in 2 months, yeah. Yeah, I'd put Matip over Hippier. The reason I put Matip over Hippier, I felt like aerially, in terms of winning headers, they were both good. Matip was taller, but Hippier was maybe more aggressive. So Bailey disagrees. But my reasoning for putting Matip would be Matip was taller and he was very good on the ball. He was a very good passer, and I'm not talking about the runs he used to make. I just thought on the ball he was quite skillful. So I'd be tempted to go with Matip over Hippier, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's the terminology I was looking for. I couldn't quite get the words out because I've been talking for 2 hours. But yeah, the ball carrying and his ability on the ball and his passing, I thought was very good. So I'd be tempted to go to Matip for that. 13th to 4th for Liverpool. Yeah, they're starting to turn the season around, at least from a results perspective. I appreciate they're still not playing very good. But it's turning around from a results perspective. King says Carragher struggles right back, no pace. Yeah, that's also why I didn't have him at right back. He just wasn't quite fast enough. To be honest, you're right, and I think over time, like I will say that. Right now, the whole situation is still a bit raw, so I refuse to put him in. But yeah, if you asked me 100% truthfully, I would probably put him in over Steve Finnan. I mean, Charlotte says bet. Zaim says Carragher right back because Salah can't defend. But are we saying this is Salah prime? Because Salah in his prime, when he was younger, he did used to defend. So Salah used to run back, defend, and Mane used to run back, defend. Under Julia, he was a good defensive right back when he allows. Oh, okay. So you're saying, so in your system, Carragher is more reserved, but Risa. So if I can find your lineup there. So in your system, what you're saying is Carragher is more going to sit back, whereas Reese is going to be the one who's going to get up and down. Okay, that makes a bit more sense now. I understand where you're coming from. Kings Premier League era team: Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Matip, Robertson, Javi, Thiago, Gerrard, Salah, Mane, Suarez. Very similar to mine. Very, very similar to mine. The only thing is I'd swap Thiago and Fabinho, but we're 10 out of 11. 10 out of 11 aligned on that. Shem likes Conor Bradley. He's a good player. He just needs to get his fitness up. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Mr. Bosley today. He's been Liverpool's best player this season. Neb says team lacked intensity. It could be down to Szoboszlai not being there, but I almost feel like the intensity can't all be down to Szoboszlai because he will miss other games. So the team needs to find intensity without him to a certain degree. Adam says, look at the time and your t-shirt. Yep, that is good timing. Abdullah thinks Trent and Robbo partnership was world class in their primes, risky for defense though. Yeah, they were both very attacking. But it kind of made sense back then because so Trent was very attacking, Robertson was very attacking, but you had Mane and Salah who were super quick back in the day, so they'd go back and defend. You'd also have Fabinho who was super quick, so Fabinho would mop up. You had Matip who wasn't super quick, but because he was tall, he had long strides, so he could cover distance. So it's one of those things. It's one of those things that worked back in the day, I think. Jones has been playing amazing, but today he struggled. Other than that, I think he's underrated. I can't lie. Yeah, he didn't have the best game today. It's starting to become a bit of a pattern with Jones, whereby he'll be out of the team, and he'll come into the team and have a good performance. But then once he gets comfortable with the fact that he's in the team, then his performances dip, which is a bit weird. Zaim had to fit Coutinho in. He was magic, and is what Wirtz is going to be. Understandable. So, some of those Coutinho goals, if you're ever bored, look at Coutinho highlights on YouTube, and you realize you've forgotten some of these goals, but they were absolutely amazing. Dollar Bill says, have you ever watched football, or are you winging it? I have never actually watched football. I'm just making it up as I go. When Fabinho had legs, yeah, when he had legs, he was amazing, because he'd cover the right side and he'd also cover the left side. He would, in a way, he would kind of play multiple positions, even though he was one man. And I think that's what made him so important. And that's probably why his legs went, because he was doing so much work every single day. Dollar Bill says, Salah defending. Salah did used to defend when he was younger, to be fair. He would track back, and Mane would also track back. As he's got older, that's been less of a thing. Robertson, I'd say Robertson. That's true as well, as Zaim is saying. Salah in his prime still had less defensive responsibility than Mane. Hendo mostly covered Trent's inability. Yeah, that is true. That is true as well. Henderson would also cover him back in the day. Firmino kept everything in place. He was the link. He was the selfless one. You don't always get those types of players who put other people before them, but Firmino was one of those. Do you know football? I do not, I'm afraid. I don't know what that is. Leandro is sorry for Chiesa. That's all right. He was okay. He played 60 minutes today, but probably was not fully fit for a whole game. Yeah, as Abdullah says, I think Salah only properly stopped tracking back last season. I think the season before, as he was getting older, he used to track back to a certain degree back in the day, but yeah, recently that's not a thing anymore, which is probably why they've taken him out of the team. To be fair, since they've taken him out of the team, they have gone unbeaten. As weird as it sounds, there is logic behind that. Carney says this manager needs to go. If somebody good can come in here, because I just feel like I'm watching the same boring football every single game. It's slow, it's kind of uninspiring, it's a bit kind of cowardly, to be honest with you. I just want to see Liverpool be a bit more aggressive and take a bit more risks. Ref was horrible, says as always with PGMOL. I'm not a fan of slot. There's not much being improved, says Abdullah. This is the thing. They keep having these meetings and had this meeting, had that meeting, had this serious meeting, had this serious meeting, but nothing ever changes. I'm just watching the same thing over and over again. I do miss that. The more aggressive style of play. It was interesting to watch. Kieran says, I don't understand why everyone's calling for Slot to go. Won us the league last year and we are winning games again. I think that's a fair viewpoint as well. You could say he made a big call, which was to take Salah out of the team, and the evidence is that big call was correct, because since he's been taken out of the team, Liverpool have gone unbeaten. So that's an alternate way of looking at it, but I think that's also correct. Risa in the Robertson role and the club would have been terrific. He could actually shoot on target. Yeah, so many You've just triggered a memory in my brain. But so many times Robertson would get into a shooting position, but he'd cross it. It's almost like his foot was like curved, like he just couldn't hit it straight. Anytime he'd hit the ball, it would curve in like a cross, like even if you're just right in front of the goal. And I'd be like, bro, just hit it straight. But like Robertson's foot is permanently like this, and it'd always kind of curve it in, which is pretty annoying. Kirkes is improving. I like the fact that he's a lot wider now, so he can get out wide and put crosses in. Earlier in the season, he was cutting inside a lot, which I presume was a managerial instruction. So I'm hoping he stays out wide. Connor says, as a United fan, I'm getting worried that Wolves are getting closer to result and we have them next. Understandable. Wolves were decent today. But to be honest, I think you'll beat them. I didn't see the Newcastle game yesterday. But apparently you've changed your formation now. And now you play 4 at the back instead of 5 at the back. So I think this formation change might reinvigorate you. And to be honest, I think you'll probably batter them. I think Liverpool right now are playing with less confidence, but I think United are probably playing with a bit more confidence. So I think you'll probably get a result against them. Yeah, Robertson's bent foot. I'd forgotten about that. Whenever he'd get into a shooting opportunity, like the ball would not go straight. It would curve far post back to Salah. I don't understand. Liverpool signings are beginning to click finally also. I think Wirtz is starting to look a lot better. Kirkhead is starting to look slightly better, but Wirtz is starting to look a lot better, which is good to see. I think we forget sometimes I think he's 22, so he's basically still a kid. But yeah, it's starting to click as you've said. I thought he had a really good performance today. There's 2 Abdullahs. There's Abdullah _F and there's Abdullah. Even though Amarim said he isn't changing. Yeah, he said he wasn't changing anything, but he changed it, which is fine. No, I mean, I think it takes more strength to admit that you're wrong than stubbornly stick with something. So even though he said he wasn't going to change it, I think it requires a certain amount of strength to say, you know what, I was wrong. I'm gonna do what's best for the team. So I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. I've got a bad Liverpool 11. I'm half tempted to just list the lineup from today. But so you got Carlos Atange, Philip Dagan, Sotiaris Kyriakos, Gabriel Paletta, Paul Konchesky, Christian Poulsen, Charlie Adam, Joe Cole, Mario Balotelli, Andriy Voronin, and Lazar Markovic. I mean, that is pretty terrible, to be honest with you. Philip Dagan and Gabriel Paletta, I remember them being very highly rated before they signed, but they were not good. But there's probably quite a few bad 11s we could put together. Ekitike man, world class. Ekitike is proving everybody wrong. Harry says, where are you coming in the league? I'm not sure, but Man City are winning it 100%. I think he's realised he doesn't have the players for his system yet. Is this Amarim, also known as my doppelganger? It could be that. He tried his system. The thing is as well, I feel like a lot of the players he has are Ten Hag's players. So to go from Ten Hag, who I think played a 4-2-3-1-ish, to a 3-5-2, it's a bit of a serious change. So yeah, that could be part of the reason as well. Maybe he'll revert back to it later. Who knows? But I think he'll beat Wolves. Kirkes and Wirtz had their best half of football. Yeah, I thought Kirkes was good. Wirtz was very good, but the rest of the team was pretty garbage. Yeah, second half was atrocious, as Young says. Football Skills says, yo bro, it's me. I changed my profile picture. Nice. Who's your new profile picture? I can't see it because it's quite small on my screen. Is it Kvaratskhelia? really see. I'm trying to zoom in, but I can't really see who it is. BM says hi. What time is it? Oh, it's 5:30, man. Voronin wasn't that bad. He was alright. I remember thinking, ooh, Shevchenko is Ukrainian. And Voronin's also Ukrainian, so he might be a bit like Shevchenko, but he never was. He was okay. He was alright, to be honest. King Kenny says, we were terrible again defending corners, and where's the cover for the back? I mean, you're right. You are correct. It's just when you read it, it's just funny because it's so true. You know what I mean? So we were terrible defending corners, given Wolves scored from a corner. And the cover for the back four is a weird one because Gravenberch almost wants to play as an attacking midfielder. Partly proven by the fact that he was in the box for the Frimpong cross for the goal. But I just feel like we just need somebody just to stay back. It's Neymar. Ah, I see. Beam says yes. It's like going through butter. And we're talking about the butter that's in your kitchen in the summer. Not the butter in my kitchen right now, because that stuff's rock solid. It's summer butter that we're talking about here. But yeah, it's pretty non-existent. It's almost as if they weren't there, it wouldn't make much of a difference. But it is what it is. I guess it's a win. A win's a win. But anyway, I better go now because I've been talking for 3 hours. But I'll probably be back on Thursday. But before I go, for me, Wirtz is a W transfer to Liverpool. People who don't watch football say he's bad. Yeah, I think he's starting to kind of find his confidence and find his space in the team. So I think it'll only get better from now on. Take care, King Kenny. Beam is back. I better go because I've been here for a while. So it's 5:30 and I think the game started at 3. But anyway, I'll be back on Thursday. Have a nice weekend. See you then.